Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. Guys, we got a lot to discuss tonight. We have a nationwide ground beef recall by Wolverine Packing Company due to possible E. coli contamination. E. coli has been popping up in a lot of different things. We just covered a huge carrot recall, organic carrots, many different brands. We saw at Kroger the other day the safety notices that they had taken a lot of their Simple Truth carrots and gotten rid of them and gotten rid of the Bunny Love carrots and a variety of others in many different stores. We covered this the other day. We wake up in the morning and we pretty much have to look online to see if there's any recalls before we go shopping. This is absolutely crazy, guys. This is crazy. So apparently it's some 167,000 pounds of this Wolverine meat is on recall. Again, guys, I'm just a messenger. I just want to make sure everybody is aware of all of this stuff. Thank you for liking and sharing our videos with your family and friends. A lot of people, we need to get the word out on this because there have been more recalls on food than I've ever seen in my lifetime. And it just continues to get worse. It continues to get worse. We are reading from Newsweek, but this is taking the internet by storm. I saw the article on Food Safety News. I just like the way that Newsweek has broken this down. There are 7 pages of products that are on recall. Don't worry, we are not going to go over each individual one. We're just going to read a little bit from Newsweek here, and you can look it up on the FDA website if you wish, or we are reading from Newsweek in this article on this nationwide recall. A nationwide recall of ground beef has been announced after 15 people became ill with E. coli food poisoning. More than 160,000 pounds, I do believe it's about 167,000, more than 160,000 pounds of ground beef by Wolverine Packing Company based in Detroit, Michigan, are being recalled after the U.S. Department of Agriculture, or USDA's, Food Safety and Inspection Service found Escherichia coli, or E. coli, bacteria in a sample of ground beef. E. coli 0157, the strain found in the beef, is a dangerous form of the bacteria that can cause serious illness and sometimes death in those who ingest it. E. coli was discovered in Wolverine Packing Company ground beef after 15 individuals in Minnesota became ill with food poisoning. The Minnesota Department of Agriculture and Health notified the FSIS on this November 13th. Wonder if this is the one they were talking about or the one they were investigating. Because I don't think the one that we heard about originally was from the carrots. Okay, I knew there was, because we were talking about Minnesota and something was going on in Minnesota. The FSIS has determined that there was a link between ground beef products by Wolverine Packaging Company and the illnesses, and on November 20th, a beef sample collected by the Minnesota Department of Agriculture tested positive for E. coli 0157. Newsweek has approached Wolverine Packing Company for comment via email form. Quote, FSIS continues to work with the Minnesota Department of Agriculture and Health on this investigation, end quote, the FSIS said in a statement. Let's see here. Quote, for many other types of food poisoning bacteria, you need large numbers to make you ill, but for E. coli 0157, even a low number of the bacteria can make you ill, end quote, Stanton said. Those who become ill in this incident experienced the onset of symptoms between November 2nd and November 10th, and were all in Minnesota. However, the beef was shipped to restaurants throughout the United States. The FSIS has said, and let me stop right there for a second. We all know, as we've been covering all of these different recalls going on, we all know that these have the potential to get a lot bigger. Chances are it already has, probably here as we're talking about it. Some people get these things and it doesn't affect them. And, you know, a lot of these things that go through different hospitals and stuff, it may take a while for results and things like that to come back. However, if these were between November 2nd and November 10th, it's pretty quick results, really. So, I mean, kudos to the people who are doing the lab work on this stuff, but this is getting out of control. I will probably continue to say that throughout this video. The FSIS has said that it is concerned that some contaminated products may be in restaurant refrigerators and freezers. It has urged restaurants not to use these products, but to throw them away or return them to their place of purchase instead. And as to where it doesn't say what I wish we knew what restaurants dealt with Wolverine Packing Company, right? We're learning of all these different companies that package fresh meats. Bruce Pack that does the ready to eat meats, some other products that have been ready to eat meats. We've had Boar's Head with this ongoing craziness with Listeria, and Bruce Pack was Listeria, right? And it's like, it's gotten so much, it's like, which one is which anymore, right? It's like we have to continuously cover these to make sure that we're keeping on track with what is actually going on. And what is actually going on seems to be pretty scary. I'm not going to throw the S word out there, but I know a lot of you have, and it's pretty sickening. It's pretty sickening. This is getting too much. This is getting too much. It's out of control. I have another major recall that we're going to go over here in just a minute. One that you guys have mentioned in the past for us to check to see if they've had these items. We're going to go over that shortly, so bear with us here. Again, there are 7 pages, 7 daggone pages of all of this meat, which is a lot of pages of recalls for 167,000 pounds of hamburger or ground beef. I can't go over all of them. I do, for the sake of a restaurant that you might eat at, though, I would check out, before you eat at the restaurant, what meat there. And it's going to get bigger. Questions will continue to get answered. But in the process of this, right, because we know that restaurants are going to be pitching this meat or throwing it away, right? They've probably all gotten these notices before we're even talking about it right now. But in the case that they haven't or haven't been paying attention, right? If I was a restaurant owner, boy, I'll tell you what, I'd be shaking in my boots with everything I order. Because I know and that's the thing. We're finding a lot of these different recalls with different manufacturing plants that service restaurants, that service schools. Out of control, guys. It's out of control. It needs to be stopped. This is just, I was just talking to my mom the other night about this. She was talking about an ice cream recall, one that it was one for undeclared allergens. That's another thing we're seeing. We're seeing mispackaged products, right? Somebody had just mentioned, again, we did do a video on this, the International Delight. It was one of the zero sugar that had full sugar in it, right? It was one of the peppermint ones. That's long over. They've taken all those down, so no need to worry about that. But still, we have to wake up in the morning and read through these things, guys, because it is getting out of control. Excuse me. Yeah, and I busted out the strong coffee this morning. I've been holding off on the Starbucks lately, but this is definitely Starbucks. I needed something strong to get me through this, guys. This is very frustrating. Very frustrating, and I hate to have to keep covering all this stuff. I try to put all the good of the holidays and different foods and everything, the different sales, the different holiday cheer that me and Jessica are trying to spread on the channel here, and these just keep coming, and I do not feel right with myself if we don't talk about them. We cover mostly food on this channel, and I don't want to talk about something that is on sale at a store and then the next day there's a massive recall on it. Fortunately, it hasn't gone that direction yet. But, we saw, if you missed the video that I did shopping at Kroger, safety recall notices all over the fridge, all over the refrigerated area for the carrots, right? I mean, it's hitting home, guys. You're seeing it in the stores. Everybody's talked about the whole Walmart thing with Bruce Pack. right? Now, Walmart's done a pretty good job of putting different products in place of things that have been thrown out from the Bruce Pack scare. 11.8 million pounds that had also been sent to restaurants and schools and pretty much everywhere all over the country and beyond. I mean, it's out of control. Out of control. Most of the recalled products are fresh with use by dates of November 14th. However, some of the products are frozen and do not have this best by date. All of the impacted products are labeled. Okay, pay attention to this, because this is the important thing that links it all together. Okay? All of the impacted products are labeled with the production date October 22nd, 2024. Production date October 22nd, 2024. And have the establishment number, which it'll say EST.2574B, as in boy. Establishment number EST.2574B, as in boy, inside the USDA mark of inspection on their packaging. Anyone concerned that they may be ill with E. coli food poisoning should contact their healthcare provider, and consumers with food safety questions can call toll-free the USDA Meat and Poultry Hotline at 888- MP Hotline or 888-674-6854, or send a question via email at mphotline@usda.gov. And guys, we're going to move on to the falafel recall here, but before we get into that, and this is in 18 states, guys, these things grow so fast, right? We're given that little piece of information, the little grain of information, the little grain of truth, and then it spreads like wildfire. That's why I'm expecting this meat recall. I mean, there's already 7 pages of different recalls on this. It's funny that it seems like there's more on this than there was with the 11.8 million pounds of Bruce Pack. Yes, you can say 167,000 pounds is way less than that, but there is a lot that goes off into different areas of the country. And, we're not talking about, this is something that could possibly spread to other products, right? I mean, am I wrong here? It's what we were talking about with the carrots. Like, well, they've been sitting, right? They've gone to places, and they've probably been on top of other things. People grab the bag, throw it back, grab other stuff. That's the problem. Cross-contamination, we were talking about this a lot with Boar's Head. I was surprised that a lot of the different things were coming back so fast with Boar's Head, when it's like, well, you're using the same machines. You're obviously, most places maybe, but probably aren't cleaning between each thing, right? Now, if you have different cheeses and then meats and stuff like that, sure, you got to clean it, right? But I'm sure a lot of these are, this is what we were talking about. I don't feel like anybody ever mentioned that. People were mentioning in the comments because we were talking about it. I don't know. Guys, it's just rough. Okay, continuing to read from Newsweek here, but this, again, is all over the internet, and this is kind of part of the point that we try to make throughout these different videos, is that now we have a falafel recall that is a deadly E. coli warning. This is what Newsweek says. Falafel recall sparks deadly E. coli warning in 18 states. Now, I've already read through several of these, so I know that it's because of the carrots. Look how fast this is happening, guys. It's like, I don't want to. It's like the first thought that comes to mind is, I don't know. I don't want to say like it's planned or something like that, but these are coming out so fast, right? This is like grease lightning when it comes to these different recalls and how they are set up. And sure, it's like with the carrot thing and all that, it's like, ooh, we use those carrots, so we better test this, or we better make sure. Where are the tests for everything else? And again, that's kind of drifted off there, but that's what me and my mom were talking about. Is like that's one thing we mentioned about Kroger. Okay, no, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. I live very close to Kroger plant, the major Kroger. The Kroger is from here, right down the street. The plant is right down the street. They have labs. They have labs that constantly test these things every day, all day, all day. That's why you don't never hear, knock on wood, okay? But that's why you don't really hear much about different Kroger products. They are testing these products constantly. They are tasting these products. They are doing it the right way. A lot of these other places aren't. I would say seem like they aren't, but they're obviously not. Because this is popping up everywhere. Okay. Moving on. The falafel here from Newsweek. The recall of a carrot-infused version of a Middle Eastern street food has prompted the Food and Drug Administration to issue an urgent warning to 18 states. A recall notice from Fabalish, F-A-B-A-L-I-S-H, Fabalish, based in Carlstadt, New Jersey, was shared on the FDA's website on Wednesday. The company warns consumers that it has recalled its Kickin' Carrot Falafel Bites. I know a couple of our longtime viewers that have mentioned those in the past that you really like those. The Kickin' Carrot Falafel Bites over concerns that the chickpea fritters may be contaminated with E. coli, a dangerous bacterium that causes sometimes fatal infections. The product's recall was initiated in response to a recall of organic whole carrots earlier this month by Grimway Farms. Remember them? The carrots included in the initial recall are believed to have killed one person in Los Angeles, while dozens of others have fallen ill across at least 18 states. I like how they say that. Not the whole 18 states thing. In at least 18 states, right? Because these continue to get bigger. It's like we'll see 18 states one day, and then we'll say, well, it covers the entire U.S., Canada, Guam, Puerto Rico. Not that it is. I'm just saying that a lot of these things have the tendency to get massive. Need I remind you of the salmonella cantaloupe of last year, where it was a few states, and then it was like 30 states, and then all of a sudden, it was just like how I said, Canada, everywhere, Puerto Rico, Guam, it was like cantaloupe everywhere had the possibility of being contaminated with salmonella, and that went on for months. Ugh. Okay. Kickin' It Carrot Falafel Bites were distributed to the following 18 states: Florida, New York, Washington, California, Tennessee, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, New Hampshire, Georgia, Virginia, Nebraska, Colorado, Utah, Kansas, Montana, Massachusetts, and Texas. The recall product was packaged in orange 10-ounce boxes with Fabalash Kickin' Carrot Falafel Bites and a lot code 260925. Lot code 260925 on the side flap of the box. Text on the front of the box says that the bites were, quote, baked with fabulously whole veggies, end quote. Okay, so, quote, consumers who have purchased the affected Fabalash Kickin' Carrot Falafel Bites are urged to discard in the trash and send a photo to orders at Fabalash. Send a photo to orders, like taking orders, right? Orders at Fabalash, or Fabalish, Fabalish, orders at Fabalish for a full refund. We've talked about this, and this is the first time we've ever seen it. This is the first time they've ever said this for any of these. I've said that forever. Maybe they're watching us. Maybe they're watching Adventures with Dano. I sure hope they are. Yeah, because who in their right mind? I wouldn't want you to bring it back to my store. take a photo of it, throw it in the trash. We'll get you your money back. Okay? Let's see. Quote, consumers with any questions may contact the company at area code 201-942-2900, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then they go on to different infections of E. coli and all that. We've gone over that 1,000 times, so I will not go over that this time. Guys, I'll tell you what. And I'm not even going to look. Not even going to look, because, I mean, chances are I could hit the Google button, hit Dr. Google on here, and chances are there's probably another recall, guys. This is insane. I was looking at the recalls. I don't know. I can't imagine this would be food recalls, but it was something like last year, and we went over it. I mean, there was a ton. It sparked me to start doing news breaks on these things. So it had to be big, right? Now, obviously, we deal with a lot of different food things on the channel and stuff like that. I want to make sure that, like I said before, sales and stuff like that we're going over, I want to make sure they're not on recall, where you don't rush to Kroger and then find out, oh, geez, I just saved a fortune on this, but I got to take it back because, there's E. coli or salmonella or listeria or undeclared allergens or broken products in the food, right? Like different substances, it's like, it's out of control. It's completely out of control, guys. This ooh, I almost slipped a sailor word there. Gotta be careful for that. We've gone on 21 minutes here. I'd hate to redo the whole thing. Guys, I don't know. I take a sip of coffee here and gather my thoughts. I wash my hands of this. I don't, like I said before, guys, I don't even know how to talk about this. I'm just a messenger. I try to give a little bit of my opinion. My opinion is pretty grim right now. I don't know how else to explain it. It's every day. Pay attention. Make sure you're paying attention. We always say on the channel, stock up on the sales. We keep hearing different things, maybe going up in price here toward the end of the year or tomorrow. We never really know anymore. There used to be a way that I could gauge things and kind of know, as most of you have been on the channel for a while, know that I've been able to kind of like, you see the trend of things. You see this math number go here. You see this doesn't add up right. You divide it by this, and here we are with massive price increases again. It's hard to really buckle down and figure that out these days. I feel the trickery, maybe not trickery, right? But there's things that are happening. There's different ways that companies are trying to figure out to raise prices, right? They're going to. It's been a cushy pocket for them lately over the last few years. They don't want to lose. They just want to keep, as a business, if you think of it as a business, sure, you want to make money. You want to make money. You want to make good money. At the expense of losing customers, though, companies have to be careful what they do, right? Companies, that are, that have held customers true to their names over the years, you got to be careful. I say some companies are really doing well, a lot better than others. We're seeing some prices taper off on things. Hopefully they stay that way. We'll see. We'll see in the future. You add all these different things like recalls into this. Some people don't look at it as this is a massive corporation that their meat or their products have been on recall. People look at this as, I assume most people look at this as, wow, I went to the grocery store and they don't have my carrots. They don't have my cheese. Or they don't have my frozen hamburgers. I'm out of here. All of a sudden, you are not shopping at this store anymore and you're going somewhere else. Believe me, stores think about this. Anyway, we'll just keep moving forward, guys. That's all we can do. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for being part of the channel. Have a great night.